Hello everyone, in this recording I will talk about probability, and this probability is an introductory recording. Okay, this is just an introduction. So the definition of probability is that it is the chance that an event will occur. This is the definition of the probability, and if you have some probability value, it doesn't mean that it will definitely occur. So let me give you one example. Is that we have, for example, 80% chance. The chance means it is probability that it will rain. Yes, there's an 80% chance that it will rain, but it doesn't mean that it will rain. It may. Okay, this is just means that it may. So we know famous probabilities like a flipping a coin. So when you flip a coin, so is the result as a head or will it be as a tail? Okay. Or you toss a die and then you look for the number one or number two. So these are all the probability examples. So what is probability? The probability is the ratio of the number of occurrences to the total number of possibilities. This is the definition of the probability. So what are the number of uh, outcomes that may happen to the total number of the outcomes? I will just show you some examples on this formula and then you can see how it works. For example, when you toss a fair coin, fair means that it is either head or tail. I mean, it doesn't stand this way. Okay, it doesn't stand this way, but it is either head or tail. So let's apply to this example, this formula. So when you toss a coin, you have the head and then you have the tail. So you have two options. Okay, say that I am interested in head. So the possibility that head will come. So it will be that the possibility of the head is equal to, so what is the number of occurrences for head? It is 1, because you don't have another option. The other option is the tail. So what is the total number of the options? Is 2. So that is 50%. Okay. That is the definition of the probability. Similarly, you can look for the tail. So that will be 1 by 2 and then 50%. Okay. Or we toss a die and then look for the probability for a die. And say that I'm interested in, that is probability that 1 will come. Okay, so probability that x is 1 is equal to, so number of occurrences, which is 1. I have one option here. Okay, and then divided by the total number of occurrences here, which I have the 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 1 by 6, that's the probability that we will have the 1. So probability for example 3 is also the same, 1 by 6. Okay. So what it means is that in both examples, the probability that anything will occur is a uniform distribution, as if you remember from our homework problem. Okay, so what is an event? So let's look for event in probability terms. So it's also called a random experiment. So like I said, toss a coin or toss a die. So these are just the examples. And so for example, the probability that tomorrow it will rain. Okay, this is an event. Okay, or the next part is of high quality. So you are manufacturing parts, and the probability that next part is of high quality, it's also an event. So let's solve a simple example on probability. So as a manager, you are buying 20 rods from company A, 30 rods from company B, and 40 rods from company C. The question says that what is the chance of, or you can see they are the same terms, the chance or the probability that any selected rod is from company A. This is the first part of the question, company B and the company C. So as I said, this should be a random experiment. So when it says that any selected rod, it means that you randomly select it. Okay. Let's start from A. And if you remember the formula, so we will have the number of outcomes for event divided by the total number. Okay. If you select a rod, the possibility that it is from company A has 20 outcomes. 20 possibilities are there that this is from company A. But there are 20 plus the 30 and plus 40 possibilities. Okay, and that's the 20 by 90, 2 by 9. So if you select, for example, 9 rods, it is possible that 2 of them is from company A. Or if you select 90 rods, it is possible that 20 of them is from company A. But at the end, we look for the percentage. So 9 by 2 by 9, how many percent does it make? So 22%. Chance. Okay, 22% chance that it is from company A. So similarly for company B, it will be 30 by 90. Okay, that will be 33.3%. And then company C will be 90 by 40, and then that will be equal to 44%. Okay, this is how you solve the problem for a simple probability example. So one more example here, we have the students are asked how do they go to university. So 20 of them says that they use personal car, 45 of them says that they are riding a bike, and 35 of them says that they are walking to university. So the question says that what is the chance, again, or probability that any selected student, so again this one means that you randomly select. You randomly select a student, and what is the chance that that student uses a personal car, rides a bike, and walks. So let's start from the first one. So how many students use a personal car? 20. Okay, that there are 20 possibilities that any selected student is driving a car. And how many total possibilities are there? We have 20, we have 45, and 35. So it means that we have 100. So 20%. The 20% possibility that any selected student is driving a car. So let's write it here, 20%. Similarly, you will do the same for riding a bike. So it will be 45 by 100 or 45%. And then the last one is the walking, and then it will be that 35 by 100, and it will be 35%. Okay. As we talked about the events, as we said, event is a random experiment. And we talked about, for example, selecting a rod, for example, selecting student. These are randomly, yes, you randomly select. Or we talked about a cosine, the flipping a coin, and we talked about the tossing the die. Okay. These are all random experiments, which is also called an event. So there are types of events. So events can be independent. Okay, for example, one event doesn't affect the other. Let me give you one example. When you toss a coin 3 times, the first time you toss does not affect the second time that you toss, and it doesn't affect the third time you toss. Tossing a coin independent 3 times, it is independent. You can do it 4 times, you can do it 100 times. Each event is independent. It doesn't matter you toss it once, it doesn't matter you toss it twice, it doesn't matter you toss it 3 times, whatever, it is independent. For example, your performance in driving test is independent than in quality class. So these are not dependent events. Or the birthdays in a classroom. Some people have birthday on April, some has on May. These are independent events. They don't affect each other. So if someone is on April, it doesn't mean that the other person will not be in April. It is possible that he will be in April, she will be in May, she will be in June. They are independent. They don't affect each other. And this is the first type of event. And the second type is that dependent events. And this is the second type. And we have the third type, which is the mutually exclusive events. So let's now check the dependent and the mutually exclusive events in the next recording.